Hello students, today we are going to start the topic of DNA fingerprinting from chapter 6 Molecular Basis of Inheritance. What is DNA fingerprinting? It is a technique used for determining nucleotide sequences of certain areas of DNA which are unique to each individual. It can be compared to skin fingerprinting. Like in skin fingerprinting, the DNA fingerprinting can distinguish one human being from another with exception of monozygotic twins. Means both the techniques will be able to provide differences of one human being from the other, and except monozygotic twins because both will have same kind of fingerprints. Now the skin fingerprints can be altered or destroyed with plastic surgery, but the DNA fingerprints cannot be altered. They remain same in every cell, tissue, organ of a person. Now regarding the discovery of this technique, it was Jeffries et al. In 1985 who gave this technique. Now regarding the principle of this technique, it is based upon VNTR. I'll take you what is VNTR, which is related with repetitive DNA. To explain it further, we know that 99.9% of the genome is same in the human beings and only 0.1% of the genome differs in the base sequences of human beings. So the difference is very small. They make every individual unique. It is due to this difference that every individual is unique and differs from the others. These differences are not only because of genes but also because of the repetitive DNA. Now comes the topic of repetitive DNA, which is also called the satellite DNA. Now I explain you further what is this satellite DNA and repetitive DNA. If we use density gradient centrifugation technique, the DNA can be divided into two portions, a bulk portion and a small portion. Naturally, it gives a major peak and it gives a smaller peak. Now, this DNA is made up of repetitive DNA, means certain sequences are being repeated again and again. It is also called satellite DNA. This satellite DNA is further of two types, microsatellite or mini satellite, based upon whether these satellites regions are AT rich or GC rich, also on the length of the segment, also on the number of repeats. So we have micro and mini satellites. This VNTR belongs to mini satellite. What is VNTR? It is variable number of tandem repeats. Now what is very interesting about this? It is unique for an individual. A child has 50% DNA from father, 50% DNA from mother. As a result, in a pair of homologous chromosomes, the VNTR differs at a particular location. So, a child has certain sequences common with father and certain sequences common with mother. But if we are comparing different families, the VNTR will be very much different. VNTR differ in the families due to insertion, deletion and mutation. How it happens and what is the influence or significance? It causes inheritable variations, means there will be variations which are being accumulated. Now, if these inheritable variations occur at a frequency or these mutations occur at a frequency which is greater than 0.01% or may reach up to 1%, means any frequency greater than 0.01%. will result in DNA polymorphism. This is a new concept, DNA polymorphism. Actually, it is very much related with VNTR. So, what is the principle behind the DNA fingerprinting? Is VNTR and this DNA polymorphism, means there are certain unique sequences. We take you further to the topic. Here is some brief diagrams regarding the technique of DNA fingerprinting, but we will explain you after we cover the steps of the DNA fingerprinting technique. And during this technique, at the end, we get certain bands, and these bands are matched. Suppose these are the suspects 1, 2, 3, and this is the DNA obtained from the crime site, and we can compare with which case it matches, and then we can get the results. Means finally we will get certain bands, and these banding patterns are unique to a person and they will match. Similarly, paternity testing can be done. So, it is VNTR and related with DNA polymorphism, which is the basis, and it is visualized in the form of bands when the technique is completed. We take you to the steps of the technique. Here we start with the technique. First step is to collect the DNA. Source of DNA. It can be white blood cells, blood, semen, saliva, vaginal swabs, skin cells, cells from hair root, etc. Any source. But we need a very small quantity of DNA, maybe 1 microgram of the tissue or these many cells. Second step is, once we have obtained the DNA, is extraction from the cell, because at this stage we have collected certain cells. For the extraction, ultracentrifugation technique is used, and under refrigeration conditions, means it is centrifugation with very high speed, and the word is used, ultracentrifugation. And here the nuclei separates because it breaks and makes the DNA free. Now we have the free DNA, but this DNA is in very small quantity. So the second step is DNA amplification, means how to make large copies of this DNA. If the amount of DNA is small, the extracted DNA is amplified through PCR. The technique for amplification of DNA is called PCR, means polymerase chain reaction. This technique will be studied under the heading biotechnology later on. But here I am just giving a briefing that by using this technique we can amplify, means we can increase the quantity of the DNA. It produces numerous copies of the DNA. Numerous copies of DNA. Next step is fragmentation, means cutting it into smaller segments with the help of site recognizing restriction enzymes. DNA is cut to separate VNTRs, means DNA can be cut into separate pieces. But what is the scissor? The scissor is enzyme. Which enzyme? Restriction enzymes. Now we have these segments or the fragments. Now how to separate? How to separate these fragments? Separation of VNTRs. Chopped DNA is exposed to electrophoresis, means we are using the technique of gel electrophoresis to separate the fragments. We have the fragments, but how to separate them? The technique is electrophoresis. So chopped DNA is exposed to electrophoresis over Agarose polymer gel. So this is the gel, and in which the segments are separated because DNA is negatively charged, and these fragments move toward the positive charge, and this is how they are placed at different locations. The separated VNTRs can be recognized. How to see them? By staining them with ethidium bromide. This is a stain, ethidium bromide. They cannot be seen with naked eye, so they are stained, and then they become fluorescent when illuminated with UV radiations. So they can be observed only under UV radiations. But finally we can see these separated fragments, but they are still placed in the gel, and then they have to be taken out from there with elution. The separated fragments are also called RFLP, restriction fragment length polymorphism. Actually these are the fragments. So far we have reached up to the level of small fragments, and which are separated by using electrophoresis. Now, since the DNA was double, we know it is double stranded. It has to be made single stranded. So this step is single stranded DNA. VNTRs are treated with alkaline chemicals to split them into single stranded DNA. Now we will get single stranded DNA fragments. The fragments were already there, but with this treatment we get single stranded DNA. Next technique is Southern blotting. In this technique, the separated VNTR single stranded sequences, now they were single stranded, are transferred to nitrocellulose or nylon membrane placed over the gel. Now those fragments are placed on the nitrocellulose film or sheath. This procedure is called Southern blotting after the name of its inventor, E.M. Southern. So this is how the technique is called. But now we have reached that the fragments which were single stranded have been placed over the nitrocellulose sheath. The next step is a very critical step, and that is DNA probes. Use of DNA probes. What is this? They are small, radioactive, synthetic DNA fragments of known sequences of nitrogen bases. It means we have a sequence of DNA. Also, it is synthetic. Also, it is radioactive. So, these 3 points are very important. It means we have prepared or we have got a ready-made kit with known sequences and radioactive in nature. Other DNA obtained from the cell was not at all radioactive. That was the natural. Now we have got some radioactive strands of the DNA. What we do next? And these are single stranded also. What we do next? Hybridization. Nylon sheet or nitrocellulose is immersed in a bath to which DNA probes are added. Now we are adding DNA probes in the sheath where we already had fragments. What will happen? The probes get attached to single stranded VNTRs having complementary nucleotide sequences. All the synthetic VNTRs will not hybridize. Only where there are complementary nucleotide sequences, there will be hybridization. Means complementary bases will pair. We know A will pair with T, G will pair with C. Like this, in that sequence, one we have added via probe, other we had already from the source and placed over the nitrocellulose sheath where both are there, and there will be pairing of the complementary base pairs, complementary sequences. And this is the real step where we can find what was that DNA, what was that sequence, and we want to see that. Next step is exposure to X-ray films. This nylon membrane containing the radioactive DNA probe and VNTR, because they had already made the hybridization, they are exposed to X-ray film. The hybridized radioactive VNTRs, those which were hybrid, they appear as dark bands. So we can see the dark bands. Students, I have already showed you in the beginning certain bands, and these hybridized radioactive VNTRs appear as dark bands. The film gives us DNA prints or DNA profiles, means we get a sequence of bands which are unique. The prints are compared and relationship is found. They are compared with the mother, with the father, in case there is doubt or in case there are disputes for a child, or we want to find who is the suspect in the cases of crime. What is this VNTR and what is this probe? We know this was the natural and this was the synthetic. This is non-radioactive, this was radioactive. It helps in the identification of a person, and probes help in identification of VNTRs, because this probe will match with the VNTR on finding complementary sequences. Next, what are the main applications? It is used for identification. DNA fingerprinting is a sure method of identification of criminals involved in various types of crime, including rape and murder, because from the crime site certain cells, tissue, hair or some material, saliva can be obtained, or some tissue, some cells, and they are used in the DNA fingerprinting, and there will be many suspects, many doubts, and the sample, wherever it shows matching, suppose there are 3 suspects, wherever it shows matching, there it is used to give us the correct clue. Also for paternity, maternity disputes, there can be many disputes, who is the real father, who is the real mother, and the child's DNA is compared with DNA of father, DNA of mother by matching the bands. It can be used also for close relations. DNA fingerprinting can establish the closeness of relation of an intending immigrant, because there will be some matching of these bands with that family. Now we move to the diagram again, because we have covered the technique shortly. These are the bands over here. These are the bands of the mother, son, claimant father number 1, claimant father number 2, and in this case there are more matchings of this claimant with this son at many locations indicated by arrows, and they are less matching with claimant 1. So in the result, solving problem of paternity by comparing DNA principles of mother, son and 2 claimants. Claimant number 2 is the real or the biological father. See this band matching over here, this band matching over there, and likewise you can see in this case. Take you further and repeating the steps of the technique with the help of the diagram. We proceed to the diagram. So this was the specimen in any shape, in cells, swab, saliva. This is we are showing the isolated DNA. It is just shown over here just to explain the technique. Actually you cannot show it like this, but to make you understand that DNA has been isolated from the cell, and these are short fragments of DNA when they were cut by using restriction enzymes. But how to separate them? The technique was electrophoresis, also called gel electrophoresis, because agarose gel is used in this technique. In this technique, the fragments which were placed here, they move towards the positive charge anode, and they get aligned in different regions on the agarose gel, and later on they can be separated. But after viewing them, Next is Southern blotting, where those separated fragments of DNA are placed over the nylon membrane or nitrocellulose sheath. Here they are placed in a bath and over the nitrocellulose sheath. Now we are adding the probes, means we are adding with this tube, we are adding some known sequences which are synthetic and also labeled and also single stranded. They will bind, they will hybridize when on finding complementary sequencing. And we use the word hybridization because some complementary DNA or the double stranded DNA will be rebuilt. Now to how to see them? They are exposed to X-ray film. When they are exposed to X-ray film, otherwise we cannot see. We can see the bands. And when we can see the bands, we can compare the bands of the suspect with the claimants or of the child with the parent, whatever case we want to compare. See the bands, we got the bands over there and we can compare. This is the case of the victim DNA specimen from the site of the crime. This DNA we got it, and there were suspect number 1, 2, 3, and where it matches, it is matching with 1. Identification of a criminal through DNA fingerprinting. Suspect number 1 is the real culprit. Like this, with this, by comparing the bands, which were actually certain sequences present in the DNA and which are unique to individual. So many problems can be solved. So not only paternity testing, crime detection, uses in the forensic science, finding close relationship within the family, finding the relatives. This technique is also useful to find human lineage. It provides information as a human lineage and relationship with various apes. If we compare the DNA of past and present, we can reach up to the level of, we can get the lineage, the order, the sequence of relationship. DNA fingerprinting can identify racial groups, their origin, historical migrants, and also invasions. So we can also identify the migrants. Their DNA may differ. Specific alleles. Certain ethnic groups have specific alleles that provide the group resistance or provenness to various diseases. I explain, certain ethnic groups have specific alleles, means there are certain genes or alleles which are very specific to a particular community and they provide group resistance or proneness to various diseases. Either they will be resistant to the disease or very much prone to some diseases or various diseases. So it is useful in gene therapy also. So there are large number of uses regarding DNA fingerprinting. Thank you.